It's tempting, you guys. I don't like the college coach she either. But this is tempting because, like I said, that hard hitting defense that they play at Georgia, that Georgia defense, y'all, is no joke. These past couple of seasons, no joke at all. No joke. And you saw all the players that got drafted off of that. So when they won the championship the year before last, Trayvon Walker left, Nakobe Dean left, Jordan Davis left. And what? They didn't miss a beat the next year. That's development. That's coaching. To lose top talent and to still be the top dogs. Literally. That's coaching. That's talent. And that could be part of Glenn Schumann. Like I said, he was calling plays last year. What's up? What's happening? What is popping? What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another great edition of Symone with the Sports. I'm Symone, bringing guys daily sports talk. So if you're new here, if you're old here, haven't already, subscribe to my channel. Stop what you're doing, leave a comment, subscribe, keep rocking with me. Also, make sure you check out the links down below. The first one is to buy me a coffee to help fuel this channel. The second link is to shop the official Symone with the Sports merch collection. Get you the classic tee, the wavy tee, or the fly or die crew neck. But guys, if you do not do anything else, turn your notification bells on so you don't miss a single video or a single live stream. And we will be going live on Monday nights for the Birth of Broad Street podcast, and we will be doing some call-in shows soon. I'll be out of town this weekend, so it won't be a Friday night call-in show like usual, but we will be having a call-in show next week so we can get you all's opinions. And I know y'all got some strong opinions, okay? Y'all got some strong opinions about what's going on with this team, especially when it comes to hiring defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, linebacker coach. We have a couple of vacancies, a lot of vacancies right now on this team. Hopefully by the time we do the call-in show, defensive coordinator will already be filled. It should have been already filled, y'all. The combine is coming up next week. The NFL combine is coming up next week. And we don't even have a freaking defensive coordinator to freaking send out there right now. Like, we're so far behind when it comes to this hiring, you guys. So far behind. I know we haven't officially made a hire for the offensive coordinator, but I'm obviously way less worried about the offensive coordinator than I am about the defensive coordinator, because one, we know Nick Sirianni is going to have such a heavy influence on this offense. It's going to look a lot like it looked last season. We're returning most of our pieces on offense, and they're already saying Brian Johnson, our quarterback coach, is the lead candidate for the job. But when it comes to the defensive coordinator, this is so important, especially since we're going to have some changes on defense. This is a defensive draft. We need to be targeting defense in this draft. The free agency, we need to be looking at some defensive players, and we don't have a defensive coordinator to show for it, to go out here and find those pieces that you need to build out the defense that you envision for this team. We are so far behind. All I get is notifications saying the Saints hired this for this, the Dolphins hired this for this, the so-and-so hired. Who are we hiring? I haven't gotten one notification, y'all, in since that day in February. I haven't got no notifications about us hiring anybody. Only thing I see is people hiring our people. And y'all, I'm really getting out. This is really getting me out of character, you guys. Like, I'm really not happy about this. It's about to be the NFL combine, and we don't have a defensive coordinator. We should be in talks and looking at least at free agents that we want to bring to this team. We don't have nobody that can be calling up these players. Even, I know you can't officially talk to players, but you could be looking at those free agents that you want to target come I think March 17th or 18th is when free agency begins. We're so far behind, and I'm so freaking annoyed because like what? But we do have some updates to get into. So yesterday, it was reported that the Eagles were interviewing or requested to interview UGA co-defensive coordinator, former linebacker coach Glenn Schumann. Now, you guys know I live in Atlanta. I watch a lot of UGA football. I know college isn't the same as the NFL, but that Georgia defense, baby, for the past couple of years, smoking hot, okay? And I'm not the one who likes college coaches because college doesn't translate directly to the NFL. It's a whole different system that they run in college than your traditional system that you run in the NFL. It's a whole different speed. It's a whole different level when you're coaching in college versus coaching in the NFL. So when we're looking at these college coaches that have no NFL experience, that has me very hesitant, okay? We were looking at Jim Leonhard, defensive coordinator, former interim head coach for the Wisconsin Badgers, and that is now off the table because he is undergoing a surgery and he wants to delay when he starts coaching again. So Jim Leonhard is off the table, and we announced that earlier in the morning, and then later in the day, we target another college guy, Glenn Schumann. But Glenn Schumann is very, very tempting, you guys, because this is someone who coached at Alabama. He was an assistant under Nick Saban and Kirby Smart at Alabama, and then he went to UGA. When Kirby Smart became the head coach at UGA, he brought Glenn Schumann with him, and Glenn Schumann coached the linebackers, Nakobe Dean, Roquan Smith, and he moved up to co-defensive coordinator. So on the UGA championship team last season, Glenn Schumann was calling defensive plays, you guys. He was a play caller on defense for UGA, the dogs, the big dogs of the big dogs of college football. And we see all the talent that we've gotten off of this UGA roster that Glenn has had a time to develop, had a time to coach. Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis. We're going into a draft where there's hella guys from UGA who we could be getting in maybe the earlier rounds and even in the later rounds, some diamond in the roughs that maybe Glenn only knows about because that was his team. And you guys, Nakobe Dean and Jordan Davis, they're the future of our defense. They're the future of our defense, and who better to bring in than Glenn Schumann, a guy who helped groom those guys, a guy who helped coach those guys, turn those into the NFL products that they are today. It's tempting, you guys. I don't like the college coach she either. But this is tempting because, like I said, that hard-hitting defense that they play at Georgia, that Georgia defense, y'all, is no joke. These past couple of seasons, no joke at all. No joke. And you saw all the players that got drafted off of that. So when they won the championship the year before last, Trayvon Walker left, Nakobe Dean left, Jordan Davis left. And what? They didn't miss a beat the next year. That's development. That's coaching. To lose top talent and to still be the top dogs. Literally. That's coaching. That's talent. And that could be part of Glenn Schumann. Like I said, he was calling plays last year. Co-defensive coordinator, learning under a very, very, very good mind in Kirby Smart. And he was coaching up under Nick Saban at Alabama. So, shoot, like I said, I'm hesitant when it comes to the college coaches too. But this guy is very tempting. Very tempting if they can pull him away from UGA. If they can't, it's very tempting, you guys. But I know we talked about Seth Joyner, and I maintain my position. Absolutely not. First of all, the Eagles have not even interviewed Seth Joyner, and thank God they got some common sense because a lot of y'all are really going crazy over this Seth Joyner situation. Seth Joyner was an amazing player, I guess. I mean, all I know is old film. He played in the 80s. I never got to see Seth Joyner play. But a lot of y'all were a fan of him as a player, loved him as a player. He's in the Eagles Hall of Fame for a reason. Multiple-time Pro Bowler. He won a Super Bowl with another team. Great player resume. But this man has never picked up a clipboard. Do y'all want all great players to run this team? So Deshaun Jackson was my favorite player growing up. So does that mean Deshaun Jackson for offensive coordinator? Huh? Because he got that dog in him, and he was a great, amazing wide receiver. So Deshaun Jackson for offensive coordinator, LaShawn Shady Crazy Work McCoy. Because LaShawn be telling us what we need to do on the TV shows, and LaShawn was an all-time great Eagle, an all-time great running back. So LaShawn McCoy for offensive coordinator, y'all want to hire LaShawn McCoy too? Because he was our favorite player growing up, and he got that mentality, he got that dog in him, and he could talk shit on TV. So y'all want LaShawn McCoy to run this offense? Just because somebody is a great player doesn't mean that translates into coaching. Okay, and a lot of times Seth Joyner, honestly to y'all, he be giving me bitter vibes. He never has anything positive to say about the Eagles. He's always just bashing. And whether he was right or wrong, dang, where is the positivity? He was always, like, from what I've seen, he's always just negative about what the Eagles got on. And just because he has a gritty attitude and a fierce spirit doesn't mean you can coach and call plays in the middle of a game. It's one thing to break down film in hindsight and say, oh, they should have did this, they should have, could have, would have. Anybody can look at anything in hindsight and say what you should have, could have, would have did. But can you make decisions mid-game? Can you make decisions in the heat of the moment? We don't know, because he's never ever picked up a clipboard. We do not need to gamble with a guy who has no coaching experience. This is a Super Bowl window. We do not have time for mistakes and experiments. What don't y'all understand? A rebuilding team can take a gamble on somebody like Seth Joyner because they have nothing to lose. We have everything to lose. Why would we take such a risk on a guy who has a great mouthpiece and who can break down film in hindsight? That's half of y'all watching this video. I just don't get it. Like, I just don't get it. Now, if he wants to come in and be a position coach, obviously linebacker coach, or if he wants to come in and be an assistant, or a consultant, or whatever, sure. But ain't nobody handing you the keys to defensive coordinator of this Super Bowl team, and you have not coached a day in your life. And maybe ask yourselves why he hasn't coached. Why hasn't he coached? If he knows all this information and he's a guru, why hasn't he coached? He's 60 years old. He's had plenty of time to start his coaching career. Why now? Ask yourselves that. Why now? Because we got a good thing going. He want to jump on board when he was talking all that shit last season. Why now does he want to coach with no experience? That's all I'm saying. I don't want anybody with no experience and never ever picked up a clipboard, never ever been on the sideline calling plays mid-game. Nobody wants that on a Super Bowl team. Yeah, if you're a rebuilding team, you could take that risk. You could take that risk. We can't afford risks. So y'all need to stop that campaign that y'all got going. I don't know what kind of spell this man be putting on y'all in them post-game shows, but y'all been talking real reckless y'all been talking. Like I said, if he wants to come in and coach a position group, fine. If he wants to come in and be an assistant, fine. But honestly, I don't see that happening either, because think about it. Why haven't we ever put him in a position? Why hasn't he ever been on the Eagles staff? Huh? Maybe it's that attitude he be having in their post-game shows, because like I said, he be real negative and sounding bitter to me, in my opinion. That probably translates over. Okay? And just because you were an aggressive player, you were a great player, doesn't mean that translates to coaching. It's a billion great players. And how many of them pan out as good coaches? Huh? How many of those pan out as great coaches? Not many. And a lot of times, the really good coaches were mid players. Look at Doug Peterson. He was a mid player. Great coach. Look at Andy Reid. Mid. Great coach. Come on now. Y'all really started tripping when this Seth Joyner shit came up. But like I said, whatever we do, we got to get somebody in here now. We got to get somebody in here now, okay? Because the combine is coming up. Free agency is coming up. We're way behind the 8 ball. And y'all trying to get distracted talking about Seth Joyner and shit. Stop it. But y'all like this video, leave a comment, subscribe, keep rocking with me. Check out the links down below. Buy me the coffee for this channel. Shop the Fish Smoke Business merch collection. Talk to you guys next time. Bye.